So after remodeling their tank and moving them into this 40 breeder, these two spawned about 13 days later. Everything went good that day, and then I pulled this slate and put it into a 10-gallon tank with about a teaspoon of methylene blue. After the first day, a few eggs had turned white, but there was no fungus forming. And then after the second day, the first wigglers started to appear. Now as they hatched and started wiggling, most all of them fell off of the slate and just landed down on the bottom of this 10-gallon tank. After only a couple of days, a few started to learn how to swim. Alright, it's day number 4 of wigglers, and already we've got a few, maybe 5 or 6, swimming around. They still have a bit to their yolk sac. Some still have the little string that they would have been attached to a rock or something, but they're still trying to swim. Yet there's still hundreds down on the bottom. Hopefully the next day more will be swimming and we'll get the big swarm of them going. This is a 10-gallon tank, and so every day I put 5 gallons of water up above and just use a piece of rigid airline tubing and air hose. I have the same inside the bucket. Let's see. Yeah, there's a rigid piece of tubing there to get it all the way down, and it just really slowly drips in. Oh, that's actually a little faster today. Yesterday it was slow, but it drips in and goes to the overflow. I've been doing that 5 gallons each day. Although there's still a bit of the blue tint from the methylene blue, even though it changed out. I did drain it down, to within a ½ inch of the bottom before the siphon broke on my gravel vac. But it's cool that we got a few early swimmers. Yesterday there was one that was swimming but was still attached to another wiggler, just dragging him behind. It was cute watching one of them wiggle and the other try and just hold on to the ride. It's now day 5 of wiggling. There's more of them scooting along the bottom, but certainly I noticed a lot have died here since yesterday, I think. There isn't hundreds and hundreds of wigglers, but a fair number, 10 or so, have taken flight and pre-swimming. Here among the, I didn't get a chance to clear out all the old debris, but there was one massive group of wigglers out here. Let's see if we can zoom in. And now it's like 5 or so dead ones in that clump. Hopefully in the next day or so they'll all be swimming, then I can clean off the bottom and figure out just what we have left. I've been hatching some brine shrimp, so I'll have plenty of that ready. And then aquarium co-ops, powder food, fry food. Okay, here we are, 7 days after becoming wigglers, and finally we got some good free swimming action out of these guys. Like, layer's a little high, but when people say it's 5 to 7 days for them to finally free swimming, it's taken the full 7 days here, but there's certainly quite a lot, not the hundreds and hundreds I was hoping for earlier. Like I say, there's a good bit in this bit of dirt and stuff, but overall I'm happy with the numbers. We've got this batch growing up, and now I've got the dark panoys. They should be hatching to wigglers tonight. So we'll have another batch of a few hundred angels. Meanwhile, these guys that are the parents are just about ready. I've seen them cleaning up the slate, so they should be rearing to go here next day or so. Maybe if I can startle them, I'll get them away from the bottom. Yoo-hoo. I want to get that shot of just the swarm of hundreds of them swimming around in a school, but they're still sticking real close to the bottom. In fact, let's get some micro worms, see if they want to eat that. Let's see. How was this one? Yeah, there's some good bit of worms on that. Is it gonna show? Well, it's focusing back. But the cloud of micro worms is working its way down. Let's see. Is there any better shot on this side? Focus. Nope, not much better there. Oh, here goes one into the cloud. And he swims right through this cloud of microworms. We back up, do we see it? No, still can't really see it. Well, there, if I zoom in, a lot of this fuzziness is the microworms. When we lose focus on the actual babies. And the way they're zipping around, they're probably eating a few of them. Even just a couple hours ago I looked in here and they weren't grouped up together like this on the floor. So they're getting better. I'm going to try and clean out a bunch of the mulm in the back hopefully get this tank looking a little bit better. Okay, good morning. We're on day 8 for these white gold angel babies. They're finally swimming around, not just hanging at the bottom. Just gonna give them a few micro worms, see if they start eating yet, or they're probably more scared of my finger than anything. But there's still quite a few hanging on the bottom. So I don't know if, yeah, the camera's picking up some of the specks of these micro worms near the top. But I can't quite tell theirs. Oh, now they're starting to find them, I think. Anyway, they're doing pretty good. Their parents here are ready to spawn again. It's actually been like 9 days. Usually they'd get going after only a week or so. Now the black turquoise Pinoy, however you want to call them, they had a batch of eggs 3 days ago, and it's not looking too good. Many of them have fungused up, fallen off onto the bottom. Well, there's quite a lot of glare in there. But if we look at the eggs, they're still, I don't know, 8 or 10 that are not white. I was going with the Daniel Anderson's method, although I used my regular harder tap water instead of distilled, but I put in about 4 drops of methylene blue, and as you see the water's cloudy. Just turned this way overnight, and fungus starting on a lot of the eggs, so I think it'd need a little more methylene blue. When I hatched these guys, I used the regular recommended dose, a teaspoon per 10 gallons, which that would be for 1 gallon, about a little under 1/8 of a teaspoon, probably more around the range of 8 to 10 drops. Now I used 4. So we live and learn. Here's the male preparing the slate here. But if none of those wigglers hatch of the black Pinoys, then I'll go ahead and clean that out and get it ready for the next set. Well, the first successful attempt was a little over a week ago. I'm in here, got 100 plus of these white gold marble angels, and the same parents as Platinum and Koi are back at it again. Now that these fry are doing pretty well, here I just fed them some brine shrimp, and with this next spawn I'm going to try Daniel Anderson's method of hatching them in a jar with distilled water and methylene blue. Stay tuned for that.